super nervous, but I'm just gonna go for it. Let me see here. Turning myself up. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about myself real fast, just give you guys a little bit of my story. So I'm Josie, and I've been coaching actively since January of this year. And I want to give you a quick background on myself. I'm 28 and a hairstylist and makeup artist. I grew up with a single mom who went to school and worked her tail off when I was little. We were pretty poor, but I would have known because she was a great mother and I had a very fun childhood. When I was about 7 years old, my mom met and married my stepdad who raised me. We moved to Missouri to be with my stepdad and his two daughters. They aren't shown in the picture, but he had full custody of them. So I do consider them my sisters as we were together all the time. So as you can imagine, I come from a very blended family. We are all completely different. Half of my family is into Pride and Prejudice, and the other half are Star Wars junkies. And then you have me who just loves like Mean Girls and Pitch Perfect. So I grew up in a small town of only about 18,000. And I would say I had a lot of friends, but there was a period where I went through a very rough time as a childhood. I've always struggled with my weight. And when I started 5th grade, I had just transitioned from a private school and started at a public school. I wore a size 18 and was bullied. I was teased daily, and I fell into a deep depression at a young age. So that next year, I finally decided that I could continue to be bullied or I could stick up for myself. I decided to hold my head high and kind of fake it till I make it. And when I say it, I mean fake confidence until I finally felt confident. It wasn't easy, but I learned a lot in those young years, and I learned that I was stronger than I had ever known, and I had to be responsible for picking myself up when times got hard. And since those times, I have been very independent. So I graduated high school, and that next year, at age 19, I made a huge mistake, and I got married. I moved to California to be with my husband, and it was there I became a makeup artist for Estee Lauder. And I have absolutely loved makeup since a young age, since I was a kid. Because when I was in 5th grade and would constantly get teased, it wasn't just for being overweight, it was for my bad skin too. I started experimenting with makeup at 10 years old, and makeup really helped boost my confidence. So although I loved being a professional makeup artist in California, the rest of my life was falling apart. My marriage was absolutely horrible. He was abusive and a very materialistic and negative person. And keep in mind, I grew up in a very religious household, and I did not believe in divorce. But the night that I actually thought my husband might kill me, and after finding myself at a police station writing a statement, I knew I had to leave. So I gathered up what little I had, basically anything that would fit in my car, and I moved back to Missouri and started at Paul Mitchell. I've always thought you have two kinds of people when it comes to weight gain and weight loss. You have those who gain weight when they're happy and lose weight when they're sad, or you have those who lose weight when they're happy and gain when they're sad. I am definitely the type to gain when I'm happy. I equated food with happiness, and because I was away from my ex-husband and back around my family and friends, I celebrated with food, and a lot of it. Oh my God, I was getting pizza like 3 times a week. It was so pathetic. I was also going through a divorce though, and I do think I used food as a stress reliever, even though I didn't see it at the time. So about 7 months later, I was 56 pounds heavier, in a size 20, and absolutely miserable. I had just graduated from Paul Mitchell and really didn't know what I was going to do. I went to Paul Mitchell because I loved the brand. I love makeup, and I really just had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I knew, just being who I am, that a typical college education was not for me. So fast forward about 9 months, and I was down 30 pounds, feeling great, and getting ready to run my first half marathon. And then I got a Facebook message from an African man. My first instinct was, okay, who is this spammer? He's probably going to tell me I have a secret bank account in Africa with $1 million or something. But then he asked about my mother, and he mentioned her maiden name. So I was like, okay, maybe this guy isn't a creep. And I grabbed my mom and I said, Mom, who is this guy? And she freaked out and said, oh my God, that's your father's best friend. And as I had previously stated, I was raised by my stepdad, who is a great guy. My mom, who's American, had been a relief worker in Kenya for 4 years. She learned to speak Swahili. She taught the village children. She slept in huts. My mom is literally the female Indiana Jones, y'all. So my dad and her were married in a village ceremony. And then at 31, she found out she was pregnant. She decided to come back to the States to have me. And because she didn't have any money, because I mean, when you're a relief worker, you really don't get paid much. You do it because you love it. My aunt and uncle offered to pay for my father to come back to the States once I was born. Well, I was born, but something happened in Kenya with the military. It was like Desert Storm, but only in 1986, and no one was allowed to enter or leave Kenya. So my aunt and uncle said they would pay for him to come to the States once that military ban was lifted. Okay, well, by the time the ban was lifted and my father was allowed to leave Kenya, my aunt and uncle's business went bankrupt, and they couldn't afford for him to come to the States. Being as this was back in the 80s, no internet, no cell phones, and he lived in a small village with not even any landlines, they slowly lost touch. It's honestly like the saddest love story ever, and I keep telling myself, or telling my mom she has to write a book or I'm going to do it for her. So back to that Facebook message, my mom and I were chatting with my father's best friend, and then he said something that forever changed me. He mentioned how the entire village was so sad since my father had been killed. He was running for a small position of government, and he had been assassinated by another tribe who hated our tribe. I immediately felt my stomach drop, and all my life, all I ever dreamed about was meeting my father. So in that moment, I suffered a horrible loss, the loss of a dream, and the loss of a father I would never meet. But I also gained something beautiful, because as we kept reading the message, my father's best friend mentioned my 3 half-sisters and a brother who I didn't know about. And so although I lost one beautiful soul, I gained 4 more. So it's kind of interesting how life works out like that. So, and yes, I got to go to Kenya in 2011, and I got to meet them, and it was an amazing experience, and that is totally for another call. So to move things along, I've been in a healthy relationship with an amazing guy for almost 5 years, and we have 2 crazy fur babies. When he and I moved in together a couple years ago, I had lost the 56 pounds I had gained, but because I was happy and in love, I slowly started gaining it back. It's like this horrible, vicious cycle. I also suffered whiplash and shoulder injuries and was in physical therapy for most of 2013. That was a very hard time for me because as a hairstylist with a large clientele, I use my neck and shoulders for literally every little thing I do while on the job. And I was in constant pain every single day. So I felt sorry for myself, and I put 30 pounds back on. And in January of 2013, I started an online private accountability group full of my girlfriends and their mutual friends who were always dieting. You're on the wagon and then you're off. That was this entire group. And it was great. It was so much fun. I love the accountability for a couple months. And then, as you know, with any long challenge group, it fizzled out. So I missed my group really bad after it fizzled out. And in June of 2013, I decided to create my page, Josie Quits Cake. I knew I could not go at it alone and just with my type of personality. And if people were watching, although terrifying, I would have to stay accountable. And if you're wondering, I chose cake in my page title because I was eating one triple chocolate meltdown, the kind from Applebee's, every single night. I'm like so embarrassed to admit that, but it was tragic. I am a huge sugar addict, and it was my downfall. I'm happy to say that as of this month, I have not had a bite of processed sugar in 9 months. Okay, so fast forward to September of 2013, and I was Googling healthy protein shakes. I knew I wanted no artificial sweeteners, GMOs, or soy. While Shakeology kept popping up as number one on all these comparison charts. And so while researching Shakeology, I stumbled across Lindsay and Carl's 15 Superstar Diamond interview. I watched that and I had to know more. So of course I creeped all over Lindsay's stuff. And it was then that I recognized the potential of Beachbody and how far I could go with this company if I was willing to put in the work. As a hairstylist, I am my own boss, and any business owner knows how stressful that is. I have to always have products in stock for my clients. I'm constantly having to take inventory and place orders, and when I don't work, I don't get paid. So I immediately recognized everything Beachbody had to offer and how I wanted residual income as well. If I go on vacation, I want my hard work to still be working for me. I want to be able to take a week off, several actually, and still get paid. So let me jump right into the meat of this call and how I have managed to be successful with Beachbody. And this goes for anyone who posts on social media, whether you have a page or not. There's a reason that since January, I've been able to earn 248 Success Club points. And it's not because I talk about Beachbody all day long. It's because I keep it real in all my posts. No one wants to follow a cookie cutter type of person or someone who's like everybody else. If you can't be you and live your truth unapologetically, then why bother posting? From having my page now for over a year and a half, I can say without a doubt, I get the most support and engagement when I write how I think and I live out loud. Excuse me. Give me 1 second, guys, sorry. So, where was I? I'm sorry. Okay. As I stated earlier, I grew up in a very religious family. So I've had family members get on to me for things I say on my post or things that they don't agree with. But let me get really real with you. The last time I checked, someone else's opinions of me didn't pay my bills. Every time I post something that is truly, authentically me, yeah, I lose a follower or two, but I also gain more followers from speaking my truth. I had to kindly and respectfully tell those family members who didn't agree with me that they didn't have to follow my page, you know? If they didn't like it, they didn't have to follow it. I wasn't writing anything hateful or harmful. I was just sharing my deep feelings and thoughts. Remember, if everybody likes you and you're pleasing everyone, then you aren't being true to yourself, and that's a fact. It's not wrong to respectfully share your opinions or beliefs. And why? Because you want to attract like-minded people to follow you, because in turn, those like-minded people are going to be the ones to contact you to join your group because they relate to you, and eventually you're going to get some coaches from those who join your group, thus growing your team. Remember, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Who gives a damn? Be their shot of espresso. If you are going to do anything of significance, you can count on criticism, you guys. In the words of Aristotle, if you don't want to offend anyone, then do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. So in what normally takes a stylist in my small town 5 years to build a clientele, I did it in 2. Why? Because I had to think outside the box and think of what others weren't doing. I use social media to my advantage by putting my portfolio online, and in the same way, I also share the small wins from my challenge group with social media at least once a week, even if it's a non-scale victory. I've noticed that not a lot of people comment on those posts of mine about my challenge group victories, but it doesn't faze me because I always get a message from at least one person asking about my next group. People are always watching, always creeping and lurking around, you guys. So I got what I was doing at the salon out there via social media, but what made me have a return clientele was the fact that I wasn't afraid to, one, fully listen to my clients' cares and concerns. Sometimes you just gotta shut up and listen. And I found so many people who every week when they're sitting in my chair, they tell me their deepest and darkest secrets, their concerns, their feelings, and it's all because they don't feel anybody is listening to them at home or at work. Listening with the intent to understand builds trust and makes that person feel validated. We have to do the same thing with our customers and challengers. The second thing that has really helped my business is that I'm always honest with my clients. If a client wants to do something unreasonable with her hair, let's say go from jet black to platinum blonde, I have to be honest and tell her that's probably not going to be a reality for her anytime soon. But we can start working our way to blonde gently and slowly if she's willing to follow my at-home TLC suggestions to protect her hair. I do the same with products. If a client asks me about a product I'm not a fan of, I'm not going to lie to her and BS her and say it's wonderful just to get a sale. That's not who I am. I have integrity, and I wouldn't want someone doing that to me. I'm going to tell her the reasons I don't like it and then offer her a better product solution. Does it mean she's going to buy what I suggest every time? No, but at least she'll know my honest opinion and that I gave it to her straight. Let's be real, you guys. People aren't stupid, and we all know that you can't like every single thing. So with your customers and challengers, be honest. Tell them what you like and don't like and give them options. If a customer messages me telling me she wants to try P90X3 because she wants to drop 20 pounds but has horrible knee and back pain, I'm going to tell her why I wouldn't suggest P90X3 for her. But then I'm going to recommend PiYo and explain why. And then before I send the message, I include a link to the PiYo preview on YouTube for her. I send the link because I'm making it convenient for the person I'm talking to, and I'm giving them less work. By me sending that link, it means they don't have to go and Google what PiYo's all about because I put it in the message right there. I'm not the type of hairstylist who makes my clients hand me foils. My clients are paying me, therefore I'm not going to put them to work. It's just unprofessional. In that same sense, as a coach, if I have the option to go that extra mile for a future customer, I'm absolutely going to do it. Love is in the details. Remember, it's the little things that count. And what I constantly repeat to my team is to always sell your challenge group over the products. I hate to say it, but anyone can go on Amazon or eBay and buy most of our Beachbody products, you guys. What they can't do is go on Amazon or eBay and buy your challenge group. And as coaches, we all know the group is where the success comes from. All right. So I recently finished Dave Ramsey's EntreLeadership, and I was blown away. I wish I had read this one sooner. In EntreLeadership, Dave talks a lot about how leaders go through what he calls squirrel theology. Squirrel theology is what happens to a squirrel playing in the middle of the road when a car comes down the street. The squirrel, in a state of panic, darts back and forth from one side of the road to the next, unsure of where to go. And then there's a bump under the car. The squirrel's lack of ability to make a direct judgment call because of fear got him ran over. Damn squirrels indeed. Okay. So as coaches, the bigger our teams get, the heavier our choices and decisions become. This can be terrifying, especially if you're a control freak. And don't get it twisted, perfectionist is just a fancy word for control freak. I am naturally a perfectionist, but the perfectionist attitude only gets me into trouble. In the past, my perfectionism has caused me to not commit to something because I needed more time to prepare, or it's kept me to be paralyzed from making a choice at all. One thing I've learned from The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy is that by not making a decision, we've still made a choice, and we'll have to deal with the consequences of that choice. Being frozen in fear will get you ran over. What we do as coaches, you guys, is hard. If we lead our team in fear, then our team will lead in fear. Whatever is happening at the head of the organization will affect the entire body. Jim Rohn talks about the law of the lid. He suggests that the level of leadership you possess, for example, on a scale of 1 to 10, determines your effectiveness, and it especially determines the quality of those who follow you. I found this to be true and something that affects us whether we're in the role of a leader or follower. Hear me out. A leader cannot attract and develop people beyond his or her own level. Your own level of leadership ability is your lid, both on yours and your team's results. If I am a 6, I won't likely gain team members who are a 7 or 8. If I do manage to do so by luck, it will be very short-lived, as eventually motivated followers will leave to find a leader who is at a higher level than themselves. It's for this reason I, as a leader, have to recognize that in order to improve my team and our results, I must first raise the lid on my own leadership ability. If your Beachbody business is suffering right now, the problem isn't the economy, nor is it your team. Want to know what's holding you back from your dreams from being a reality? Look in the mirror. You are the problem with your business. Your character, capacity, ability, and vision are limiting your team. The good news, you are also the solution. Starting right now, decide who you are and where you want to go with your business. Figure out what's holding you back. Break free from the chains of fear. Fear kills more dreams than failure ever will, you guys. Decide to stop being your own worst enemy and become your new best friend and a new entre leader. Before I close, let's discuss what being an entre leader is. Dave Ramsey likes to say, business is easy until people get involved. Entre leaders win no matter what. In the dictionary, entrepreneur is described as a person who starts a business and is willing to risk loss in order to make money. A leader is described as a person who guides or directs a group. Dave says being an entrepreneur isn't enough. He knew for his organization, he didn't simply want to train people to be bosses, nor did he want employees. Employees come to work late, leave early, and steal while they're on the clock. A boss simply leads with positional leadership. Positional leadership is the lowest level of leadership. It's entry level. The only influence a positional leader has is that which comes with the job title or rank. If you lead with positional power, you should probably plan on staying in corporate America or Burger King somewhere and begrudgingly show up to work, start late, and leave early. People in positional leadership use their title to make demands and get what they want. Positional leadership is a sad excuse for influence. The only power we can use to grow a quality team is the power of persuasion. You are not a boss, and your team is not your employees. Oh, guys, I'm going to get crazy on this one, all right? Let me calm down. Your team will never go further than their leader. Therefore, you always have to be the one to show up to go that extra mile and show them that as a team, it's a group effort and that each person on your team matters. Explain to your team members how they can benefit from taking part in coach trainings, writing down their goals, being on team calls, pushing a little bit harder each month, and listening to their cares and concerns. Persuasion is pulling a rope. Positional leadership is pushing the rope. And we all know you can't push a rope. All right, you guys. So I got to give Bonnie a turn tonight. But my wish for you guys in closing is that you don't let fear run your life. You live your truth out loud, unapologetically, and that you lead others with your heart. Oh, and don't let the haters get you down, okay? If you have haters, it's because you're having some success. Anyone trying to bring you down is already beneath you, okay? That's my time. Thank you guys so very much. Hopefully we can transfer this to Bonnie without ruining the whole call. So thank you guys for listening. I loved it. You guys are great. Oh, before I do that real fast, does anyone have a quick question? I figured I'd do that now and then Bonnie could answer hers at the very end. If you have a quick question, type it real fast. Hopefully I can see it. You guys are so sweet. Yeah, bye Felicia.
Can you guys see me? Yay! Okay, so I went back and forth trying to decide whether I would show my face or not. But I didn't want to do it because it makes me feel way more connected with you guys. Too loud? Volume is crazy loud. Oh, you guys, I'm sorry, I'm really loud. Volume is crazy loud, static. Mic level. Hold on. Is this better? You guys know I'm loud. Okay, if it gets a little too loud, you guys just have to let me know. I think I see. Much better? Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start. So can we get a slow clap for Josie, you guys? That was amazing. This is so exciting. And Josie and I were so excited to be on this call tonight because we kind of have the same kind of flavor to our business. And we're just really excited to translate that to you guys. And I think that this is a good time of year because we are at the end of the year, the end of 2014. Everyone's concentrated on numbers, on rank, on elite points, on all this crazy stuff. That we sometimes forget that our business is freaking fun, you guys. Like, we get to post on Facebook all day. Turn my mic down a little bit more. It's hard to hear you. You guys, I'm back. Can you hear me? Oh, I'm so sorry. This is a nightmare. Okay, can you guys hear me better now? No? Ugh. Mic volume down. Is that better? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, much. Okay, sorry. Anywho, so what I was saying, as this year comes to a close and we get really, really focused on numbers and rank and elite points and success club and all this crazy stuff, we forget that our job is super freaking fun, you guys. Like, we get to post on Facebook all day, help people lose weight, and be a light for other people. So I wanted to concentrate today, especially because Josie and I have the same kind of like personality on social media, on energy and drive, more than intelligence and numbers and strategy and all that kind of stuff. Let's breathe some life back into our business. And I want you guys to realize that you are your success. Your fun, your personality, your drive, your energy, and all that bundled up into one, compounded with fearlessness, is your business and what will make you super successful. So I'm going to take you through how to tap into that, how I tap into that, and a couple of my suggestions to just make it more fun and realize again that we pretty much have the coolest job in the world. Okay, so. Okay, I think that it's hard for us to understand the simple fact that our strength in our business is us. Literally, all you have to do is be yourself and show your personality, and your business will go leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else's. I think it's hard for most of us to understand because when we get into this business, we're filled with self-doubt, right? We doubt that we can be successful. We doubt that we could ever be in the top 10 or all that fancy, shiny stuff. But sometimes you just have to realize that it's inside you. Just like Josie said, you are the person that's stopping your business, and you are the person that can fix it. And I see it all the time with my coaches, doubting themselves, doubting their posts, doubting what they say to challengers and conversations. And I really think that we just need to understand that the strength is inside. So why is our personality our strength? Well, our personality demonstrates why you are different than others who provide similar products or services. Think about it. Do you guys want to go to an ad that you see on Facebook that is just a stock picture of someone with a nice pair of running shoes? Or do you want to click on the ad that has somebody like with a super big smile? I personally would like the second one. So you need to show why you differ from that stock photography, from that LA Fitness ad, from that Crunch Gym ad. Personality shows rather than tells what makes you different and sets you apart. So oftentimes when I talk to new coaches or people who are interested in the business, one of the number one questions they say is, well, there's already 200 and some thousand coaches. How the heck would I be successful? My answer is, you are different than me. I'm different than you. Someone scrolling through Facebook in a really dark place, looking to lose some weight, looking for a life change, maybe that person won't relate with me that relates with you. Or maybe the other way around. And that's okay, because it's our own business and our own personality that we're showcasing. Personality engages the prospect, capturing his or her interest and drawing him or her into your message. Personality establishes an ongoing rapport between you and your prospects, creating a bond that will help you convert leads into clients when the time is right. So the very last thing we want to do is just talk to people for a sale. Josie kind of touched on it a little bit, but the most important thing is we're building relationships here. The people that are our challengers, that are our coaches, hopefully we'll get to spend a lot of time together in the future on phone conversations, on retreats, everywhere. So we want to actually like the people. If you don't lead with your personality in the beginning, you could be drawing some people into your business that you don't necessarily mesh with. And that's a big mistake that I personally made in the beginning and that I know a lot of coaches make. Personality transforms your message from boring to fascinating, increasing both the impact of your message as well as the quality of opportunities generated from them. So when I was a new coach, I made a lot of mistakes, like we all do. And I want you to know that that's okay. Everybody makes them. And I know that it can be really, really, really hard to lead with your personality in the beginning because you're filled with that self-doubt. But I can tell you that once you find your voice and know that that's the way to do it, it can change your business, because it certainly changed mine. And I'm going to show you some mistakes that I made in the beginning. Oh no. We're missing a slide, but that's okay. Okay, so the last thing that I want you guys to do is leave this call thinking, oh my gosh, all I have to do is take a picture of a crazy face and then everybody's gonna buy a challenge pack from me. Because that's not how it works. You wanna be silly, you wanna change the face of fitness, and you wanna be forward thinking, and you wanna engage people, and you want to make people think about it differently and challenge themselves. And you want to be silly and have that scroll stopper, but you also want to convey the message. And one person who I really love, and she's one of my mentors, is Anna Wintour. And she said this great quote about fashion. One doesn't want fashion to look overtly ridiculous, silly, or out of step with the times, But you do want designers that make you think, that make you look at fashion differently. That's how fashion changes. If it doesn't change, it's not looking forward, and that's important to me. And I feel like this quote is so poignant to this call, because we're talking about leading with our personality and being different, being that coach that gets somebody to think outside of the box and think of it as not just a pack of DVDs and a chocolate shake. You know, we want to lead with our personality, but we also want to convey a message. We also want to get people to think. We want them to challenge themselves. So I replaced those words that she used for fashion with health and fitness. One doesn't want health and fitness to look overtly ridiculous, silly, out of step with the times, but you do want coaches that make you think, that make you look at health and fitness differently. That's how health and fitness changes. If it doesn't change, it's not looking forward, and that's important to us. And I thought that was such a great quote, because we are the next generation of fitness. We are the next generation of health. And if we can get people to see that through our social media, through our conversations, through our energy and our drive, that's how we can help people. Okay, so Josie talked about fear a little bit, and I know that once you bring your personality into the mix, it's like, oh crap, I'm being a real person now. This is my personal self that I only let my husband and my friends see, and now I'm gonna put it on Facebook for the whole world to see. That's bad and that's scary. But I want you guys to know that once you get over that fear, everything you're waiting for, the success you want to see in your business, the people that you want to help, the challengers that you want to get to the next level, that's on the other side of fear. So you have to push back that. And I wanted to talk about a few habits that you definitely need to ditch in order to get to that next step. So number one, caring what others think. Just remember that those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. In the beginning of my business, I had no idea what that meant, y'all. I had a really hard time with my close personal friends because they were like, whoa, you're posting on Facebook way too much, and you posted 7 selfies today, and I'm blocking you from my newsfeed, which initially really, really hurt my feelings. And I thought, oh my gosh, everyone's gonna hate me. I remember being on the phone with Lindsay hysterically crying, saying, nobody wants to join my challenge groups and now my friends hate me. You gotta throw that out the window, because do you wanna know something? That doesn't matter one bit. It's been 11 months since those friends said that to me, and they have all come back around and apologized to me and said, wow, I am so sorry I did that to you in the beginning. I can see how wonderful this company is and how happy you are, and I really apologize. So know that either that time will come for those people, or those people don't matter in your life. Number 2, comparing yourself, your business, your posts, your amount of likes / comments with someone else. Now, I know everybody does this. I know you do. Don't try to deny that you do not. In the beginning, I would post something, and then I would sit there and look at it like, oh my gosh, is anybody gonna like it? How long is it gonna sit there? 11 likes in 11 minutes? That's not good. So I would literally sit there and obsess over it. And then I would think, oh my gosh, this person posted kind of the same thing, and I posted that, and they're getting way more likes than I am. It has nothing to do with you or the post or anything like that. I am sure that your upline would tell you if you were posting bad things or things that weren't in line with what you were hoping to get a message across for. It has to do with consistency. It has to do with building up your network. So this picture that I included here, this is literally the same exact post. The one on the left, I posted the first month in my business. So I still had, the same group of old friends. And right before I joined as a coach, I did the whole Facebook wipe. I think I had like 500 friends on Facebook, and my profile was super private. So I just posted it's okay if you can't see it, I'll tell you guys what it says. It's just like an ab selfie, and I basically just said, halfway through my challenge, can't wait to see my results. And I got 11 likes. And then I posted the same picture a couple days ago when I was prepping for this call, and the same exact picture, that's the same exact text was in the post, it got 70 likes because over time I built up consistency and I gained trust with my followers. In the beginning, people are watching you. They're looking to see, oh gosh, what's Bonnie doing now? Is she gonna stick with this, or is it just another fad thing that she's doing? So you have to wait for that consistency to build up. Number 3, overthinking. This can be easy or as hard as you want it to be. Don't sabotage yourself. This is something that I was super, super guilty of in the beginning, you guys. I would post something and then I would sit there and think about it. Well, what would this person think of it? Oh my gosh, this person didn't like it, and that person from my team didn't like it. And it ruined everything. It took the joy away from everything that I was putting out there. So just don't do it. Number 4, ignoring the clues success leaves and failing to make them your own. I know at the beginning when you're a new coach, you hear over and over and over again, success leaves clues. And in the beginning, I was kind of like, huh? What does that mean? But then I started to realize, oh my gosh, if I hear the same thing 3 times on a team call, it must be important. Or if 5 successful people tell me to do the 3 vital behaviors, they must be important. And this is something that I avoided for a long time, right? Because I'm a sapphire personality and the 3 vital behaviors don't sound sexy and they don't sound wonderful. So I didn't do them. But as soon as I started saying, oh my gosh, Vaughn, you might want to listen to the people that are successful. So I started not ignoring the clues that success was leaving. The very thing we are protecting ourselves from is actually our greatest strength. So once you guys get over those fears and stop doing those bad habits, I can guarantee you that your business will push forward. Okay, so the number 1 question I get from coaches is, how the heck do you post? How do you come up with all this stuff that's super crazy with all these funny faces, and how do you come up with all your content? So I'm gonna let you guys in on my little secret sauce or tricks of the trade. So step 1, what do I talk about? It is so hard in the beginning to come up with content. You know, you're trying to have all these different social media platforms and come up with something that's engaging, but still have a scroll stopping picture. It can be a little bit overwhelming, but I'm going to tell you guys how it's done. So number 1, decide what the message is, i.e., is it Shakeology is healthy? Is it working out is fun? Is it Beachbody coaches is fun? That your team needs coaches, that you need challengers, etc. Decide what you want it to be. And then during your day, record things that happen. So if I'm at the grocery store and I'm trying to meal plan and I'm really confused, I'm like, oh, quinoa, I don't know what that is. That's probably a question that everybody else has. So I'll write it down on an app that I have on my phone called Evernote. And it probably looks like a crazy person's notes when you look at it. But there's all these little bullet points throughout my day. If my workout is really hard and I keep slipping on my carpet because my hands are slippery from sweat, that's something that other people probably have the same problems. What you have to realize is the problems and the questions and the things that you think inside your head, other people think them too. Odds are your market or your niche that you're trying to attract will ultimately connect with those same things. Another thing that's really helpful is I think about what's popular in the newsfeed, on Google AdSense, what is trending, how can you shed light on your business through that? So, for example, the other day, the Victoria's Secret fashion show was on the 13th, I think. So I kind of linked that to the business through a workout selfie. Not super crazy or anything really high level intelligence, just, oh, the Victoria's Secret models are gonna be on, I better get my workout in so I don't feel guilty. And then that pulls in so many more people that you can connect with that day because people are already thinking about the Victoria's Secret fashion show, so link them in with your business. Step number 2, sprinkle some special personality dust on it. So the slide that was missing from this call that I'll post afterwards was, in the beginning, I would just post either my link or just a picture of my Shakeology cup, which we've all done. But the trick is, if you find something cool on Pinterest or you find something that's on Google that everybody's talking about, put a picture of yourself in there. You know, put a little bit of something that you cooked in the kitchen rather than something else on Pinterest that you found, like a pretty picture of food. Be real. If Shakeology makes a random chin hair grow faster, don't be afraid to say that stuff, you guys. I think that we all live behind this filter. You know, we all want to have the most beautiful selfie and no lines on our forehead like this. And we all want to have that perfect downward angle when we're taking a selfie. You know we all do. But ultimately, that's not what people relate to. People relate to you. And people relate to that random chin hair that pops up. Realize that if you think it's funny, your market thinks it's funny. If you are posting something that you would click on, then they will click on it too. And if somebody doesn't like it, well, they can go kick rocks, because you want to repel the people that you don't want to work with and attract the people that you do. Subliminal marketing is best. So just an example, the picture on the right looks like it has nothing to do with Beachbody or Shakeology, right? I'm not holding a cup and there's not a program in the picture, but it has everything to do with Shakeology. With this picture in the post, in the text was about how my hair grows nonstop now because of Shakeology, and then a couple other benefits. So just try to pepper those little business things in there without making it overtly salesy, which is something our team is so good at. And then stories are always better than telling/posting facts. So nobody wants to scroll through their newsfeed and see endless pictures of a chocolate bag of Shakeology and everything that it does for you, right? If they want to find that stuff out, they can go to your website or message you or Google it or Amazon it, whatever. They want to know how it reflects in your life and how it's making your life super fun. So make sure you tell a story. Make sure you show a picture of yourself or your house or your family. That ultimately is what's going to get to them. Step 3, blend number 1 and 2 with a scroll stopper. So how many pictures do you guys have to take on your phone before you get a good one? I know that I am super embarrassed when anybody takes my phone, because there are a million selfies of all different angles, of my mouth open, of all this stuff. A little story, on our retreat, we played this game and somebody would have to pick one of our names and then we would have to describe that person. And Lindsay actually picked my name. And the first thing that came to her mind was to make crazy faces. And I thought, how cool is that? Because that's the brand that I built. What do you want people to think of when they come to your page or when they think of you? And I think that the crazy faces communicates happiness. It communicates smiling. It communicates a wonderful, laughing life. So creating a scroll stopper is just that. You want to showcase whatever you are in that picture. And nobody scrolling through Facebook wants to click on that bag of Shakeology. They want to see you. They want to see you being goofy and being real. So if you find a quote, a message, a cool idea, put a picture of yourself behind it and then put some text on there. Don't take yourself too seriously. The days of pretty selfies and perfect filters are over. Live your life on social media the same way you live in real life. So my husband and I were sitting there the other night talking about how cool it is that we can be ourselves in front of each other. And then he was like, but you're pretty much yourself on social media, so I don't know how special that is. So think about the person that you are with your husband, with your wife, with your family, with your friends, that open person that doesn't have that guard out. And try to put that out on social media, because that's what we all crave from you. And then step number 4, set it and forget it. And this is really important. It's something I didn't do for a long time. So when you put a post out there, don't second guess yourself. Just be you, be real. Don't spend too much time worrying about who likes it, who doesn't, how many people it reached, etc. You're only wasting your time and bringing yourself down. And then just realize that done is better than perfect, you guys. Don't spend a whole bunch of time agonizing over what you post. Just make sure it helps people, make sure it's you, and make sure that you feel good about it, and then leave it alone. That is my 4-step process that I wanted to share with you guys. And the call got really long. I'm super sorry because of all those technical difficulties, but I thank you guys so much for hearing us tonight, and Josie did an awesome job. And I just want to leave you guys with you know, love yourself, have fun, and never give up. We have such a fun business, and we have the chance to really, really change lives and to not just get a message of health and fitness out there, but this is really your platform. So you can do anything you want with it. And that's really beautiful. So don't let the pursuit of business suck the joy away from it. You know, have fun, be you, and love the you that you are, and show it to everybody, because ultimately that's what everybody wants. So if you guys have any questions, you can type them below. But if not, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm so sorry for all the technical difficulties.